opposed to, I got the content out, you know? Hello, my lovely babes. How are y'all doing today? I hope y'all are doing absolutely amazing. I am doing quite well. Thank y'all for asking, because I know y'all do every time I ask. And if you're not asking, kind of conceited. But that's fine. I love y'all anyways. But I just want to first start off by apologizing for being off of YouTube for that extended period of time. I did not initially intend to be away for that long, but with my mental state and everything that was just going on, I had to take a step back, and that is what this video is going to be about. It's just taking that step back to take care of yourself. And I feel like that is something that's not talked about when it comes to being an influencer or this social media personnel, is making sure that you are taking time for yourself, because we're always watching videos about do this, do that, schedule this, schedule that, but it's never about what to do when you're doing this and how to take it all in to make sure that, you know, most of us, when you're becoming an influencer, I'm sure that you're still working, you're in school, or you're doing whatever it is that you're doing, but you're also, you know, trying to build your social media personality. You're trying to build this platform that it is that you're coming on. And it's a lot, and people don't understand that being an influencer is like being a job, like it's a career in a sense, which it is a career. It is a career. It's not even in a sense. It's a full-blown job, and you do have to take it seriously. And the good thing about it is when you are an influencer, especially when you're starting out, yes, you have to mass produce and mass upload and mass just literally do everything, and you're typically doing it by yourself unless you have the funds to do, you know, bring in other sources, which if you do, then hey. But not everybody has that. So when you're starting out, you're stressed, you know, and I've been on YouTube before, and that's one of the reasons why I got off of YouTube, is because mentally I was not prepared for it. But when I started this channel, I told myself that this is an adventure for me as much as it is an adventure for y'all, and I'm going to show my journey. On top of that, when you're not mentally there, you're not going to be able to put out your best content. And for me personally, I just knew that my best content was not being put out. And I knew that it wasn't going to be able to be put out. I wasn't doing much. I mean, yes, I was traveling and stuff, but come on now. So I want to apologize for that. And I want to give y'all some tips to make sure that when y'all start your journey on whatever it is, whether it's, you know, being an influencer on Instagram, or starting your YouTube channel, or starting your podcast, or your blog, or whatever it is, that you are mentally prepared for it and you have the ammunition that you need to move along and move forward. Because we get all the things that we need to, okay, you need to post this time, you need to do that, this, that, and the other, but you have to be mentally there. For those of you that don't know, my name is Otter, the owner of this channel, the co-host of Always Something. If you haven't listened to that, the link is in the description down below, so make sure you go check that out. And the host of Okay, But Wait. That is a podcast that I'll be launching here very soon. I know y'all have all been waiting, so I'm excited. And yes, it is coming out. It is coming out. So I'll be doing little teasers in there. Make sure to follow Okay But Wait on Instagram. I will put a little pop-up somewhere over here. It's at OBW Pod. And follow me on all social media as well at Honorton20. So let's get into the video. So of course, when you're starting out in your social media, your influencer career, it's a mental toll, because like I said, most of us are already working, and you're putting so much time and effort into your normal everyday job, your 9 to 5, as we all like to call it, whatever hours it is that you're working. And you get off, and most of the time you're drained, so you're not always thinking about, okay, I need to have this uploaded, I need to record this, and this, that, and the other. Especially with YouTube, a lot of people don't realize that when you start doing YouTube, like, you have to worry about, is my, whatever it is that I'm using, is that clean? Do I have storage? Do I have time? Do I look prepared? Because if I don't look prepared, then people are gonna eat me, and this, that, and yada, 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 yada. And then you start doing it, and if you don't have that foundation, then the house is gonna crumble. And as we know, everything that you start has to have a good foundation with it. So when I started out on YouTube, I built my foundation, and of course some foundations are gonna crack over time and everything, but my foundation started cracking. And on top of that, I just moved into my apartment. I was furnishing my apartment, I was hosting events, having my housewarming party, all this other stuff. I went to Cabo, and my mentality, like my mental state, was just not where it needed to be for me to produce videos, as well as start up a podcast and just work at the job that I just recently started. And I felt that it was not fair to y'all, and it definitely wasn't fair to me. So I had to take a step back to really hone on my skills and create that schedule that not only worked for me, but worked for what it is that I'm trying to do. Because I had just got my new work schedule, and y'all, waking up from 6 o'clock in the morning and getting off at 3, like, it's nice, but at the same time it's draining. So I just had to figure out what worked best, and then execute it from there. So here are some tips that I did to really just get back into my mental, the mental state that I need to be in. And I'm not trying to say like I was just depressed and this, that, and the other. I just was not mentally prepared for what it is that I was bringing onto my plate. So tip number 1 is I meditated. I always meditate, but there's different types of meditations that you can do. And I typically like to focus on my energy and what energy it is that I'm bringing, projecting, and what energy it is that I'm letting come into my life. But I had to do a meditation at least once a week of what it is that I'm trying to do and go from there, because oftentimes you look at how many views you're getting and how many subscribers and likes and this, that, and the other, and you're like, this isn't where I want to be. But you have to focus not only on the future, but on the present, and realize, yeah, I've come this far. Yeah, this video isn't where it is that I want it to be. Why? For X, Y, and Z. But I got the video out, and that's all that matters sometimes, is that you got the video out, you like the video, it's, you put your all into it, and further down the line, that video is gonna help. So I meditated to really just bring myself, recenter myself. If y'all haven't watched my video, a video where I kind of referenced the 3 R's, which is the review, or the receive, the review, and the replenish, and I really had to focus on that and just review and replenish, because I wasn't doing that. I was just boom, 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 boom. So definitely meditate. If meditating is not your thing, start out with 5 minutes a day, or 5 minutes a week, or every other day, and I'm telling you, you'll be like, okay, I actually can do this. Tip number 2 is I had to create a schedule, which I did before, but again, like I said, my work schedule just changed. So that schedule was more so towards what I was working originally. But now that I'm in my actual schedule at work, I was able to create a schedule that kind of worked. And I was able to work the schedule at work to see, how tired am I gonna be? What do I do after work typically? And figure out how much energy I had left to be able to do this. And I know some of y'all are probably watching this like, well, if this is something that you want to do full time, this, that, and the other, then you should be putting your all into it. And yes, I put my all into it, but I put into it how much I can put into it. If you're putting your all into it and you're breaking your back, then at the end of the day, you're not going to enjoy what it is that you're, in my personal opinion, this is just how I look at it, is if I'm putting so much effort and time into it, and then I get the finished result, and it's like, I could have done better if I just kind of took a step back for a little bit, then why, I prefer to take a step back to take 5 steps forward, as opposed to, I got the content out. So scheduling, making sure that your schedule works, and on top of that, understand that this is a job. So if you go to work, my manager would always say this, if you come to work, you're going to do good. So if you know that you're gonna record a video on Monday, then you have to make sure that you record that video on Monday, because then it spirals. And you also have to make sure that your friend group and whoever it is that you hang out, those people that will be like, hey, let's do this, let's do that, understand that I'm working. You have to set that boundary with them that, hey, I'm working. I know that I'm not working at my 9 to 5, but I am working on something that I want to become my 9 to 5. So set that boundary with them and set that boundary with yourself up. I'm putting my phone on do not disturb and I'm going to work. It doesn't have to be 5 hours, it doesn't have to be 6 or 8. You can literally just take an hour. You could just record a video and edit the next day, or edit whenever you have your time, however your schedule works out. I typically do not record and edit on the same day because you get burnt out, and you need to make sure that you are helping yourself. Because if you get burnt out, then it goes back to, this is not gonna be good. You're gonna be laying on the couch tired, you know? So that was another thing that I did that really just helped me out to make sure that when I came back, I was better. And number 4 or 5 or 3, I don't know. Next tip is that I had to get back into my personal schedule, not my work schedule. And that was just, one, I go to sleep by 10 o'clock, guys, because I wake up superbly early. In my personal opinion, some of y'all might not think that's early, but for me, in my body, I wake up early. So by 10 o'clock, I'm in bed. 9 o'clock, I'm starting to get ready for bed. It's like, my kitchen's closed at 8, my car does not leave by 8. Like, I set that schedule. So I had to create the schedule of, okay, I wake up at 6 so that I can be ready for work by 7, and then I'm done by 9 so that I can be ready for bed by 10, doing my face stuff at the end of the day, doing my little workouts at the end of the day, doing whatever it is that I need to do, having my cup of water, drinking my protein shake at night, so that by 10 o'clock I was in bed and ready to go to sleep. And again, it goes back to setting those boundaries with yourself and your friends, saying, hey, I'd love to go out today, or hey, I'd love to do this, or talk on the phone, but I do have to go to bed so that I can be mentally ready for the next day. And if they don't like it, they don't like it, but at the end of the day, you have to do what's right for you. So that, getting back into my normal routinely schedule and making sure that it worked with what it was that I was doing, definitely helped my mental state a lot. Because believe it or not, guys, we love schedules. At least for me, my Libra sun and my Virgo rising loves a schedule. So figure out what it is that works for you and get back into it. And the next tip that I did was I communicated, not only with myself, but with my friends. And I was like, they're like, hey, like YouTube, this, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, right now, I'm not mentally there. And just having that open conversation with them definitely helped me out, because they encouraged me to understand, like, hey, you want to be mentally prepared, like, what's going on, let's talk about it if you want to. If not, we don't have to. And that definitely helped out a bit, because, we're our biggest critic. We are our biggest critic. So when you're only talking to yourself and you're only thinking it out for yourself, with yourself, then it's sometimes better to have those other ideas from other people, to be like, hey, well, maybe you should try this and maybe you should try that. And you don't have to do it, but just having that other option, that extra option, is always super helpful. So that definitely helped me out. And for the most part, I know I was gone for a while, but however long it takes you to get back is how long it's gonna take you. And that's the one thing that I love about the entrepreneurial life, is you are your own boss, and you have to understand that you are your own boss and you are wanting to make your hours. So it doesn't just start when you're super successful. It can start right now. And you have to understand that what you put in is what you're gonna get out. So if you're not working, you can't always expect for results to come back. So you have to understand that if you're not working, yeah, your content's not gonna get as big as you want it to get in that time frame. And it could, but 9 times out of 10, it's probably not. But at the end of the day, you wanna make sure that you are ready for your content to get big. Because y'all have seen it, people win the lottery and then they become bankrupt a few months after. And you don't wanna win the lottery and become bankrupt. You wanna build your empire Teresa Mendoza style, okay? Okay. But I hope y'all enjoyed this video. For those of y'all that are starting up your influencer life, let me know, did this help? Did my tips help? And what are your own tips? Or just, even if you're not starting your influencer lifestyle, what is your tips? Like, what tips can you give me? What tips can you give other people? Because I'm sure that everybody has their own things that they do to reset themselves. I'd love to incorporate it. I'd love to talk about it as well. So yeah, I will see y'all in the next video. I have vlogs coming. I know I've been saying that, but like, I've actually been recording. I've actually uploaded them. I've switched up a lot of things for the channel. I'm superbly excited to share this with y'all. And again, I thoroughly apologize for not being here. I have to share my Cabo trip with y'all. Like, I'm just super excited. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button and share this video out, because again, I'm sure that there's people out there that can definitely help from this, because I don't want y'all stressing yourselves out to the point where you're, you know, committing suicide, or you're just depressed and you don't feel like you have someone to talk to, because these are real things that happen and you may not know that your friend's going through this. So just help, just anything that you can do, help them out, help yourself out, and share love.